let me tell you about another cybersecurity play I've owned for a little while. So let me tell you about Zscaler, ticker ZS. It's a cloud security company that enables organizations to have seamless, secure, and reliable access to applications and data based on a zero trust architecture. So, like Zscaler's layer provides a secure gateway, so enables when users want to log in, wherever they are, whatever they're trying to do, their traffic gets inspected for threats before it reaches its destination. And instead of connecting directly to a website or application, user traffic first goes through Zscaler's global network of data centers, enabling zero trust access. And the sort of essence of this is no user or device is trusted by default. It's not like the old days of like firewalls, and once you log in, you have like all the access you might be able to get your hands on. This is like never trust anything, always verify everything. That's like the essence of zero trust. I've got a basket of cybersecurity stocks, and Zscaler is a smaller part of that. I've owned for a couple of years. I prefer my other investments like CrowdStrike and my new ad CyberArk and Palo Alto networks. They're just more established. But Zscaler works in tandem, in partnership with many of those. It's not like in competition with CrowdStrike directly. So it's getting 3 badges out of 10 from me as a conviction rating. It's still smaller scale, and maybe my conviction is dented slightly by the fact that growth seems to be slowing, maybe a little bit early. Like a good number that allows you to look at this, if you check out this pretty picture, is dollar-based net retention. So I love my SaaS companies to have net retention of over 120%. It's now slowing for Zscaler. It's down to 114%. What that means is for every customer who spent like $1 last year, on average, customers are spending $1.14. So they're still growing, but they're growing slower. And you can see remaining performance obligations are also growing, but growing slower, albeit it's inflected back up in the most recent couple of quarters. So I'm just keeping an eye on this one. As an investment, it's starting to perform a little better. It kind of did nothing in my portfolio for almost 2 years. Suddenly it's come to life a little bit. Time for me to get a bit of a better handle on exactly their positioning, but not a super high conviction holding from me.
Yeah, okay. This is a company I know well. I used to own it. I was surprised to hear you call it not as well established. I always thought these were one of the, OGs of the cybersecurity world, sort of, pushing the edge. But you know what my problem with a company like Zscaler is from the investor standpoint? Is this like, like Astera Labs, unless you're an expert in the field and you read about the products, it's the acronyms and the jargon are so hard to understand because the industry is evolving so quickly, and it is, it speaks to the professionals in the field, but you really have to put in massive amount of hours to understand on the ground level of what they're doing and how they're evolving. If you don't do that, then you're left relying on just the financials, right? Is our billings going up or are they going down? Almost like, and I personally don't like being in that kind of position as an investor because I really can't tell, and I have to rely on, either the major trends or just cross my fingers that things continue to be good. How do you, and this is, by the way, one of the reasons I sold, as I talked about in the last episode, I sold Calumet because I was like, I just no longer want to deal with this anymore. That kind of, tax code deciphering shit. Where are you with that angle? And why not just cut Zscaler and reinvest the cybersecurity money into the companies you understand are easier to understand potentially?
Yeah, it's a really good shout. And I am challenging myself with that a little bit. But, and I say it's less established. You're right. They've been around a long time, and in their niche, like they're a very strong player. But like partner companies like CrowdStrike are starting to infringe on their turf. And if it was like a toe for toe battle with, say, a customer and they had to choose one or the other, well, they're going to choose CrowdStrike because it just does so much more. Like today, customers choose both. and that could be why growth is slowing for Zscaler. I do think I totally buy what you said about as an investor, like some of these companies are really hard to understand. I think I do understand cybersecurity reasonably well. Like I just rebuilt a friend's PC just yesterday. I do get my hands dirty with this stuff, but I think a really high signal is a metric like dollar-based net retention, because that's like, even if I don't understand it, well, people who are actually spending money, on average, customers are spending more year after year. So, like, that's a pretty strong endorsement that customers are getting value because they're giving them more and more of their money. But yeah, I think you can be a successful tech investor or biotech investor, or maybe not biotech, but a tech investor, certainly around SaaS, by looking at a couple of key like SaaS metrics. But it is nicer. You have a warmer feeling when you feel like you really understand the solution. And you're right, this is a bit more on the fringes of what I understand because I don't use these technologies myself, or I haven't used them in the past. I want to increase my exposure to cybersecurity, not decrease it. It's why I added CyberArk just a few weeks ago. If you told me I was forced to sell a company in this sector, it would be Zscaler, but probably just not for any other reason than I feel I understand it the least of the four companies I own in that space.
Jogging my own memory too. I remember when I was an owner, their financials are also not the easiest to understand because for some reason, billings is like the main thing with Zscaler and remaining performance obligation. Some SaaS companies, you kind of net retention rate, that's fairly easy to understand, number going up, good. But Zscaler tormented me for for long. Like why this company? Why are we looking at billings as the thing for them and not the other guys? And it's kind of, I think, having to do with, it's because corporations are buying it and the way you calculate seats and future. I mean, it's another, just my eyes are starting to roll just rethinking about that angle too.
Anyway, three badgers. Maybe it's no longer in the portfolio if we do this review next year.
All right. Well, but we do need our cybersecurity.